Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to episode 325 of the 4,000 Question Challenge. But first, an interlude, because I want to show off some of my new toys. This right here, which was a standard high-impact plastic nightstick till I upgraded it to have numerous, actually 24, steel studs, and a mace I made out of a bicycle sprocket with my first wrapped handle. My very first. Quite happy with it. The second one I tried, unfortunately, I tried on a rusty crowbar, and that was very difficult to do. It took 3 tries before I got that one. This one worked on the first try because it was nice, smooth, new metal. But yeah, really happy with those 2 designs, so I thought I'd show them off. At least they're new as of this minute. Alrighty. Should we be softer or stricter on those who commit fraud and corruption in the medical, legal, and insurance fields? Well, they should be open to lawsuit on the civilian level, and we should throw them in prison. I don't know if that's harder or softer than what it is now, but that's what we should do. I think I hear a street cleaner outside. Should we be softer or stricter on people who physically abuse their spouses? I'm a firm believer that crimes against people should be considered of greater concern than indirect crimes against people, such as financial fraud, or even further indirect, like non-direct property harm, like graffiti and stealing from corporations. So yes, crimes against people, like physical crimes against people, should be the number 1 tier, and abusing a spouse should be right up there. I'd probably place that as number 4, murder, rape, child abuse, and then spousal abuse. Yeah, I'd probably place that number 4. Should we be softer or stricter on pedophiles? Really? You have to ask that question? Are there anybody who thinks that we should be softer on pedophiles? Because if you find someone that thinks that we should be softer on pedophiles, don't ever let them near children and call the police. Should we be softer or stricter on underage drinkers? I guess it depends on, are they alcoholics or are they just having a laugh? Or as the Irish would say, are they having a crack? If it's just having a laugh kind of thing, I think it should be a very minor instance. Nothing, you confiscate the alcohol. If it's repeat offenders, you give them some community service. Maybe require them to have some kind of a mentoring or counseling situation. But yeah, there should be no criminal involvement in that. Should we be softer or stricter on gamblers? Like legal or illegal gambling? If it's legal, I think we should probably discourage it because it's not smart. But illegal, we should probably make sure that it's all being done in a safe manner. But if no harm is coming to anyone, yes, there should be some civilian penalties, but I don't think it should be criminal. Should we be softer or stricter on drunk drivers? Ban them from the roads. Period. First offense, you lose your license for a year, no exceptions, and you have to pay all court costs. And they should be fairly high, along with the fine. Second offense, 5 years no driving. More penalties, more court costs. You don't get your license back till you pay those off. And third offense, you don't ever drive again. Should we be softer or stricter on people who jump turnstiles in subways? I don't give a shit about them. They're meaningless. There shouldn't be a criminal prosecution against that in the least. Just go solve some real goddamn crimes. Should we be softer or harder on people who do not buckle their seatbelts? It should be a civilian fine, but every person should be encouraged to wear a seatbelt. I think that it should be required by law. And people that don't need to be reminded, and if they need to be reminded with like fines, then we fine them. And lastly, in this section, should we be softer or stricter on graffiti artists? Well, if it's damaging private property, that's a major issue. I think we should discourage that kind of thing. I think that we should actually reserve public spaces for graffiti artists to work because they do legitimate art. And some of them are quite accomplished, and their media requires them to have a canvas. So damaging private property is an issue. Damage corporate property, I have a lot more sympathy for the graffiti artists in that regard. And lastly, for episode 325, what is your overall opinion of Israel? Well, I have absolutely no problem with the Israeli people unless they support the Israeli government, because my issue is with the Israeli government, who are fucking fascists. So I have a problem with the Israeli government. I do not have a problem with the existence of Israel or the people in the country who don't support their fascist government. Um, so problem with the government, not the people. Don't have a problem with them existing, but guess what else I'd like to exist? Palestine. So thank you for being here for episode 325 of the 4,000 question challenge. I hope you'll be here for episode 326.